just joined us, you can introduce yourself in the comments section. Tell us what you do and where you are from so others can know about you as well. Today, we have a very interesting topic. Many planning engineers have confusion about this area, and we will cover it in detail. It's about Primavera P6 import and export. We will talk about really something high level, so it's for intermediate to advanced level. You don't have to be advanced planning engineer though. Um, so introduce yourself in the comments section. Because we expect more people this evening. And if you have just joined us right now, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon. It depends on where you are in the world right now. Um, Introduce yourself in the comments section. Tell us what you do and where you are from. Hi, Sakib. It's good to have you. Hi, Ikenna from Nigeria. Eben from the UK. We have also uh, Shakib is a planning manager from in the KBR. We have also Shakib from Saudi, Muhammad from Pakistan, Daniel from Dubai, Hussein. Hi Hussein. PM Muhammad. Hi Muhammad. Jikizi from Angola, Muhammad from India, Singiza from Rwanda, Michael from Egypt, Gaba from South Africa. She is a planning engineer. Hi Saddam Dulanjani, a site engineer from Sri Lanka. Nabil, Pakistan. Hi Zain, thank you very much. Wajdi from Tunisia. Mario from Egypt. Arshad from Germany. Muhammad from Dubai. Alam from Saudi. We have so many people this evening. I did not expect that. So I feel that more people are excited about this topic. Felix from Ghana, Wael from Canada, Emil from Uzbekistan. Interesting. Ashik from Dubai, Qasim from Pakistan. We have also people from Qatar, China, Cameroon, Ghana, Qatar, India. Interesting. Sudan, Amir from Sudan, Hatem from Saudi. So, hi everyone, and I'm happy to have you all this evening. If you have just joined us, we will talk today about the Primavera P6 import and export. I'm gonna talk about what you will learn today and step-by-step explanation. I'm gonna do the work inside P6 as if you are standing over my shoulder. So I'm gonna show you everything step by step. We will also have, I will answer questions uh, related to the topic we are discussing today, or maybe you have any other question about planning. So we will have a lovely evening. And Sarah from Canada, it's good to have you. Hi, Muhammad from Egypt. Muhammad also from UK, Bahrain, Oman, Qatar. All right. And before I start, if everything is okay with you, if you can see me, if you can hear me well, just write thumbs up or okay or good to go, whatever you are comfortable with. So we make sure that uh, we will not have any disruption. All right, good to go. Okay, we will talk today about Primavera P6 import and export. I know many of you have been following me for a while, but I'm gonna give a little bit about myself in case you are joining me for the first time. I am a practitioner in project control since 2010, skilled in planning Power BI delay analysis and the claims, bachelor in civil engineering, and I studied my MBA in the UK. I did all my research around construction. I worked in super large construction projects. I am a member of PMI and ASCEI. I served as the director of marketing at ASCEI, the UAE chapter. It's a volunteer role. And I am based in the UAE and I offer project control services and the procedures for companies, delay analysis and the claims and the project control training. I am PMP, PSP, and PMI-SP certified. What you will learn today, I will show you how you can use the delimited function inside Excel and treat the consecutive delimiters, configure your data using fixed width feature inside Excel, import and export the scheduled data like a pro without any errors, become more efficient and impress your team with your skills. Configure your data in a way that Primavera can listen and talk to. Why do we need to do the import and export? Because sometimes you want to review schedule changes and verify the associated impact, identify contractors manipulations if you are working with consultants. So maybe you want to see the impact of contractors it changes, and I have done something on purpose, and I'm gonna show you at the end of the live stream because I want to show you how we can use that in real life and how we can put our knowledge into practice. You can use it in daily analysis because CPM is extremely sensitive for changes. You can review contractors' claim submissions. Some delay analysis methods, such as MIP 3.4 dynamic split, is mainly based on bifurcation, which I'm going to explain today. And if you liked my previous live streams and if you are getting value from what I'm gonna explain this evening, feel free to like, comment, and share this live stream. It takes you only 2 seconds to do so. You can do it and go back to the live stream right away. And I really appreciate your support and supporting my content. And in return, as a thank you, I'm gonna send you a valuable gift if you like, comment, and share the live stream. So I'm gonna send you Excel sheets for dashboard, activity tracker, all of that, like everything here. It's almost everything I have in Excel. It's a templates. You can fill it for your own project and it's ready to go. It's almost everything I have. And this is the list of the most commonly used Excel formulas in planning. I'm gonna send you also full weekly report template, complete XER file, cost and resource loaded, project logs, PowerPoint templates, complete extension of time claim, and narrative extension of time claim as well. All you need to do is to like, comment, and share the live stream so it can reach more people and add value. After you do so, you can send me a message on social media and I'm gonna reply to you with the gifts. But you have to do that on social media so we can verify that you have actually liked, commented, and shared. All right. Okay, so let's start right away without further ado. But if you have just joined us, Um, First of all, um, introduce yourself in the comments section. Tell us what you do and where you are from so others can know about you as well. And today we will talk about the Primavera P6 import and export. And many people have the confusion about this area. And you probably did tried to do that in the past, but it did not work for you because you do not configure the data properly. Some people just export the data into Excel and import it right away, but there is a trick and we will talk about it. Here's what I have done here. It's a simple example, but the project is huge enough to make it practical. I did not want to import and export a couple of activities because it will not probably be the case for you. Because if that's the case, you will not need to do import and export. You're gonna just update that manually. But if you have 20,000 activities, you need to master the import and export. I have two Primavera files right now. In my project, I have week 28. This is my most recent schedule update, and it's week number 28. Data date is 31st of July 2016. I also have another schedule update, week 24. Data date 3rd of July 2016. What I want to do is to extract or export the progress data from week 28 and import it back to week 24. So week 24 file is the receiver. Week 28 is the sender. Of course, it makes sense. So I have progress data in week 24 up to 3rd of July, but I wanna import the progress data up to 31st of July. So I'm gonna take the progress data from this file and import it to that file. We will export, we will do two exports in Excel. So let's go step by step. First of all, I'm gonna go to week 24, the receiver, open project, go to file, export, Excel, next, activities, next, choose the project, next. And this is very important. I'm gonna customize a template that has specific columns for the data that I want to export and import. We have the activity ID. It's very, very important because that's how I can map the updates. Activity status, very, very important. And by the way, it makes sense, right? Because I wanna tell Primavera if this activity is non-started, in progress, or completed. If you wanna approve, if I try to remove the activity status from the template, Primavera will not allow me to do that. So it makes sense because if you wanna update the activity, you have to mention what the status of that activity. WBS code, very, very important, and I'm gonna come back to that later on in a minute. Again, if you want to get rid of it, you can't. It has to be in the file. Activity I name, it's optional. I only need activity ID, but I like to keep activity name so I can review what I'm doing. So sometimes I wanna review some activities while I am working, and the activity name helps me to do that. So I will know that this activity will belong to floor 5 or that activity will belong to excavation. So it's easy for me to review because I am fully aware of the project progress. We need also actual start, actual finish, remaining duration, and activity percentage complete, right? Then will go to filter and I want to export all activities. For the receiver, I want to export all activities because I don't know which activities will be updated in future. When I recall the data that I want, I just want to export everything right now. And click OK. Next, where do you want to export it? I have prepared a special folder for that. So that's my week 24 activities and open, next, and finish. Then close. Then I'm gonna go to week 28, my most recent schedule update, for example, and I wanna export the actuals as well. So I'm gonna go to File, Export, Excel, next, Activities, next, next. Then for the template, I'm gonna keep everything the same, but I'm gonna apply one filter. I don't want to export all data from week 28. I wanna only export the actuals, which makes sense because I wanna take these actuals and import them back to week 24. So it doesn't make sense to export everything in this case. So I'm gonna apply a filter. Activity status is not equal to non-started. So it's a workaround. It's a basic, it basically says that I want to export everything that is either in progress or completed, but I do not want to apply two filters. So maybe it's a bit smart filter. So everything that is not equal to non-started. I hope it makes sense. Click OK. Next. And I will put it here in the same folder. Open, next, finish. And then close. And by the way, I know it's a lot to take right now, especially if it's your first time. And if you wanna some refreshment, you can always go back to the recording on my social media. You can go to my profile or my page and see the recording of the live stream. You can also pause and just apply every step along the way. Before I go any further, just type in the comments section if you are following along so far, if everything is clear before we proceed further. Okay, so what we did is we did two Excel exports for both Primavera files. Okay, and I want your full attention in the next step because it's a bit technical. So I wanted to make sure that you are following along and everything is clear for you so far. Okay, thank you, Agbato, for the confirmation. And let's proceed further. So I'm gonna go to my Excel sheets. Okay, I will open both files. I have here week 28 and week 24. So I will 24 and I wanna recall the information from week 28 and incorporate this data here. Okay. So let me start with the activity status. I want to import or recall the activity status of week 28. I'm going to apply VLOOKUP formula. So VLOOKUP, open the dialog. I want to search. Of course, I'm not like we all. I know that you all came from different backgrounds and different experiences. So I'm not gonna really explain everything about VLOOKUP, but you can always educate yourself from YouTube and see how it works. I'm gonna go a little bit slow here, but I'm not gonna explain everything, okay, in VLOOKUP. So I wanna apply VLOOKUP. I wanna search the other file for this activity ID. I wanna tell Excel to search for this activity ID and go to the other file, week 28, and search the whole table. That's the whole table. I will fix the range, and I tell Excel that search for this activity ID, and once you find the value, show me the corresponding text here in the second column. So that's my column 1, that's my column 2. So I wanna get column 2 value. Okay. Range lookup 0. I want exact match. Range lookup 0 means exact match because that's activity ID. And the schedule has unique activity IDs. So I want range lookup 0, perfect match. And click OK. Not applicable, which means this activity was not a part of the schedule update or progress data that I wanted to import. Remember, when we went to week 28, we exported the actuals only because that's what I need to do. So if it's not applicable, it means that it wasn't a part of the update. So I'm gonna remove it later. And I'm gonna double click so I can apply the formula and export everything. You can see that some activities are completed, some non-started. So that's the first step. I wanna recall information related to activity status. We will do the same process for actual start, actual finish, remaining duration, activity percentage complete. Okay. What 99% of planning engineers do in the import and export, they will take the Excel file of week 28 and import it right away to the XER file of week 24. And they wonder why there are errors and they have problems with the import and export. It's because that we want to import native files. I want to keep the same WBS code. I want to keep the native Excel file of the week 24, which I am trying to import the data into. Okay, let's do actual start, VLOOKUP. Open the formula, search for activity ID in this table. So I'm going to highlight the table again. Right. Then fix the range with F4. If you find the activity ID, I want to bring this value, which is column number 5, range lookup 0. Okay. Of course, there is a shortcut, but I do not want to confuse you. Like basically, I can do it in 5 seconds. I can just copy the formula, adjust the range, but I just want to go slowly so you can follow along. So let's do it again. Search for the activity ID in week 28, updates. F4, then column 6, range lookup 0. Okay, so before I move any further, what I'm trying to do is that's week 28. I tell Primavera, search for this activity ID, and if you find it, bring me the corresponding values of my choice. If I am updating the activity status, okay, so bring me column number 2 value. That's column number 2. If I am updating the actual start, I tell Excel to, if you find the activity ID, bring me the corresponding value located in column number 5, and so on. So I'm basically, that's what I'm doing. Remaining duration, activity ID, I'm gonna search in week 28, F4, remaining duration 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0. And the last column to be updated. Eight. First step is to remove the not applicable. It is not a part of the update, and it should not be imported. So I'm gonna filter everything that is not applicable and delete it. I wanna also remove the formulas. I cannot import formulas. So copy, then paste. Copy and paste. So now I removed all formulas. I need to do something about the dates here, because in Excel, you can have a date if the cell is formatted to a date. But if the date is formatted to a number, it will give you like some random numbers like that. So what I want to do is I want to highlight both columns because they are dates, and just have a short date. So that's a number. Okay, perfect. Now it's a number, it's a date, okay? But I cannot import the data right away in this way because yes, it looks date. You can see a date, but do you see here in the formula bar, I still imported the timing from Primavera. You know, if it's a start, it's gonna show me 8 a.m. If it's a finish, 4 p.m. I do not want to import this information from experience. It can cause problems. It depends on your software configuration, which version you are using. You know, it just it can return, and it depends on how you set up the default units. And so it just I don't want to import this the timing. You can go one by one and remove it, but we know, like in planning, you have to work smart, right? We don't want to do that, especially if you have 20,000 activities. Then what I'm explaining right now is useless because we want to master the process, become more efficient, and going over 20,000 activities, and manually removing the timing is not efficient. Right? I'm gonna add a new column to the right of both columns. Okay, so I have now a blank column. Okay, right at the right hand side of each column. I will highlight the first column, go to data, then text to column. I will choose fixed width, then next. And Primavera Excel is really smart in that. So they will, you can see like, I can go to see the whole data. So they can recognize patterns. They can recognize the date pattern and the timing pattern as well, because it seems that it is consistent. They can see patterns, based on the spaces, the type of data, like they can see dates, they can see hour and the minute, they can see the EM and the PM as well. So they can see the patterns. So what I'm gonna do is I wanna split this cell and I wanna have the date alone and the timing in a separate column. So I'm gonna just adjust this range. By the way, you can really customize it if you want. You can have three columns. You can separate the values into date, timing, and AM and PM. But I don't want to do that. I just want to separate or split the date and the timing. So that's what I'm gonna do here. So I will, after I do the process, I will see the dates in one column and these values, the timing, in another column. Click next. Then the final output should be date, because I can now highlight which column. So that's the column that I'm interested in, the date. So I want to configure it as a date. I want to also, I'm not interested in that. I'm going to remove it anyway. So let's keep it date for the first column. Then finish. Okay, perfect. So now I can see the dates only, and I'm gonna remove that. I will do it again. If you want to follow up one more time, I'm gonna repeat the same process for the finish date. Highlight everything, text to column, fixed width, yes, split the timing, next. First column, I want it to be date, click finish, and remove the timing. One last thing is I want to do final formatting for the date, because I want it in a way that aligns with Primavera. Like in Primavera, we have the date, month, and year in this form. So I want to keep it like that, so it will not cause any confusion to Primavera. And by the way, from experience also, if you want to import it that way, I think it will work well, but it depends on which Excel version you are using. And I think both Primavera and Excel have become a lot smarter than before. Yeah, I I just an old school person because I used the P3 in the past. And if you are a fresh graduate or maybe you are a Gen Z, um, you can search Primavera P3. It was really painful, very basic. It has many problems, and the Excel I used to use back then was not that good. So Microsoft updated a lot. They improved a lot in their features. So I know that we have many amazing software tools right now, but I'm a classic guy. I'm a bit old school. I like to play it safe, have my data well formatted and organized. So I will configure the date custom. I want to have it DD, day, 3 M's, so it can return. I will show you after I do it. Then YY. Then okay. Okay. So that's exactly what I want to. Day, month. When I add three M's, I tell Excel to have this format. The month into three digits, basically. And what double Y's. So I want to show the year in two-digit format. One last thing is I wanna format the remaining duration and activity percentage complete into text format. Yes, we know remaining duration is a number, right? We know that. And we know that this is the case in Primavera as well, but it doesn't work like that in Primavera. Primavera just will see, it's better to recognize text for it. So they will just take the text value and import it to Primavera. And in Primavera, there is another processor there. Okay, so they will take the text value, which I know it's remaining duration. Once it is successfully imported in Primavera, Primavera can use it, for other purposes like calculate earned value or for reporting purposes or whatever it might be. But you must import the values in a text format. Okay, so you can do it from here, but it is not that effective. You wanna really impose the format. I'm gonna highlight this column, the remaining duration, go to data, text to column, and use the delimited function. Click next, then select a comma, select other, and have this symbol. It's like similar to apostrophe, but it's not really, because in Excel, when you add this delimiter, it's the Excel's way of saying that this value is a text. I want to also click the treat consecutive delimiters as one text qualifier is the same symbol here. It's like apostrophe. If you want to search Google, you can learn more about it. If you wanna format a cell into text, you have to use a text qualifier that is similar to the apostrophe, exactly, like that. So I don't want to go into specifics, but you can search Google about it, know about the text formatting in Excel. Click next. I wanna have column data format text, then finish. Okay, that's it. That's all what I need to do. The same for activity percentage complete. It will be saved for me. Perfect. Next, text, and finish. Okay, we know that activity percentage complete. We know that it's a percentage, right? We know that inside Primavera. We know that because we are planning engineers. But I want to import the data in a text format to Primavera so they can process the data for me. Right. What else do we need? Remove the filter. It has to be very clean and neat. So I'm gonna remove the filter. I'm gonna, as you know, if you realize, I kept all columns titles the same. This is very, very important. The first row should not change. That's actually my mapping identifier. So in Primavera, when we see the task underscore code, it is actually the activity ID, which we see in the front end. But in the back end, they use different codes, and I have to keep it the same, exactly the same. I will not touch it, because if you change that, it will not, the data in that column will not be imported successfully. So I'm gonna keep everything here for activity status, it is status underscore code. So I'm gonna keep and it has to be the first row, by the way. So they're gonna import the data. They will see first the first row. If it is, if it has a description that aligns with their mapping and schemas, okay, they will be happy about it and import the data for you. I'm gonna keep that as well. I'm gonna keep the sheet user data. Don't, you know, don't delete it. Okay, and that's it. That's everything I want right now. Why do I need to keep the WBS code? It's a part of mandatory updates. Why? Let's go to Primavera for a moment. If you go to WBS, okay, and you can have on top, you can have 1.1, then 1.1.2. You can see it when I double click. But if you see the WBS code, it will always have the XER file ID at the beginning of each WBS code. So it's a 1.1.3. But you have to add the XER code as well, or project name or project ID. So that's why. So that's why I want to keep it the same. Because if there is something wrong here, or if you did not import the WBS code, when you import it, I'm basically, I want to map the activities into the corresponding WBS. Okay, so it should fall under the right WBS. But if you have a problem with the WBS code column, or you did not import it at all activities will fall, under, like, it will not fall under any WBS. So you're gonna have the general here, and you're gonna have all activities imported on the top of general. So it will be, the activities will be floating everywhere, and it will not be assigned to any WBS. It's very, very important. And that's it. So yeah, that's my week 24. Okay, and I imported the progress update of week 28. So I don't have right now the progress update of week 24 anymore. It's up to week 28. Everything here is related to week 28. So I'm gonna close this Excel file, save it, and let's go to week 24 because that's my receiver. Open project. I know it's a lot to learn and digest right now, but as I said, you can always go back to the recording of this live stream. You can pause, and you can also follow along step by step if you have to. And you just need to do it maybe 2 or 3 times, and that's it. It's gonna be an asset. It's gonna be a skill that you will apply over and over again in your career, and it's gonna be amazing. So let's go to File, Import, Excel, File to Import, and it shows week 24. Next, activities, next, update to that file. Okay, should we click finish? Okay, do you feel excited? Okay, finish. The import was successful, and all activities are imported under the correct WBS. One last step. I have right now the progress update of week 28, which is 31st of July data date. But the data date did not change yet. So I'm gonna, of course, run the data date to the right data date, the progress update data date. So I'm gonna choose 31st of July because all the progress update here is up to 31st of July. Then click schedule. Okay, so now it changed it. Um, and it's a 31st of July. But I have already the schedule update of 31st of July. So why did I do all of that, right? It's because you import the actuals, which this process is called the bifurcation. It's an industry term, scheduling term. So that's what I'm gonna do. I wanna split the actual progress from the logic changes. I imported the actuals, but I kept the logic of 33rd of July. Okay. So here's something I did on purpose, right? So right now, after I did the import, I show completion date 20th of December. Let's go to schedule update itself, which has all actuals, by the way. The same actuals that I imported. Right? It has 21st of December. It's a different data date. So it's the same project, the same actuals and the progress data, but different finish date. So why? Something happened. Logic changes. Maybe you tried to be a smart and do something in the lags, constraints, you change durations, whatever it might be. You can right now run a schedule comparison or a schedule digger between both files. The original schedule update itself and the bifurcated one. This one right now should have a data date 31st of July. You can see it here. At the bottom, 31st of July. So it's a schedule to win, but maybe different logic. So we use the process for delay analysis. If you want to do delay analysis, for example, MIP 3.4, dynamic split, you can use it to identify contractors manipulation and evaluate the schedule changes. Sometimes, like for example, when I run the schedule comparison, sometimes when I run the schedule comparison, I can see some changes. But it's really up to me to accept all of it or partially accept it. I'm not saying that you should discard all the changes, but it gives you the possibility of reviewing the changes. There are many uses, and I'm sure it is an important skill. That's why you are attending this live stream with me right now. So I hope this workshop was somewhat informative. And if you joined me late or me right now, we talked about Primavera P6 import and export. And I also asked you to like, comment, and share the live stream. It takes you 2 seconds to do so, and I will appreciate it. And thank you for supporting my content. And in return, I will be happy to share with you a valuable gift. It's almost everything I have in planning, all templates and tools, including weekly reports, XER files, and extension of time claims. So everything I have as a thank you for supporting my content. All you need to do is to like, comment, and share, and send me a message on social media. But you have to send it on social media so we can verify that you have already liked, commented, and shared the live stream, and I will personally send you your gift. Okay, let's go over some of the questions. And maybe you can write in the comments section, tell me if there is a specific topic in mind that you want me to explain, because that's how I know maybe if many of you voted for a specific the case for delay analysis, because I was doing some workshops about schedule updates, but I have seen more people are interested in delay analysis. So we had a series of a very nice and engaging uh, workshops about delay analysis. You can check the recording on my YouTube channel. You can search YouTube, my name, Osama Saad, and you see we have 100 plus videos right now. You know, we cover so many topics. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Ali from London. So we have also Khafir and Abimola. So thank you all for attending. It's so amazing how we can connect at the same time with different people across the globe. It's so amazing and impressive. So I really appreciate it because we are all busy. So thank you so much for taking some time away from your busy day. I hope that I made it worthwhile for you and you gained some value from the live stream. Okay. Um, we have follow up from Sarah. I do the same for my projects. Perfect. Thank you for your input. Hi, Paul. Okay, perfect. So I am glad that you found the workshop helpful. Okay, thank you, Gaba. I appreciate it. Mm, thank you very much, Mahmoud, for your kind words. Hi, Manigui. Thank you very much. And I really appreciate, I know I can see many comments. So thank you very much for your kind words. But I would really look at the questions right now because when I answer questions, we can add value to more people. Gapa, what is the difference between basis of a schedule and a schedule management plan? So if you are talking about schedule basis documentation, because that's the term used by ASEI in the RP and also in the PSP study guide. So that's the term. I assume that this is what you mean, the schedule basis documentation. So I'm saying that it's a narrative report that will show me the assumptions and everything in the back end of my schedule development. What is my activity ID structure? Which what are the calendars and what are my assumptions about delivery? For example, I want to see also software settings. So everything that is in the back end, right? Labor productivity, definitely. The schedule management plan is something it's more comprehensive. So I am saying that what is my process of schedule development? So for I can say, for example, that we used the lessons learned or company assets to get the labor productivity, and I got the assumptions from potential suppliers. You know what I mean? Like I explain the basis of schedule development, like in house. You know the internal procedures. I got the estimates from the QS. You know, like the whole process. I for the schedule development and the schedule update as well. So I can say that I'm gonna maybe have activity list and I will share it with the site team. They will do the update for me and I will incorporate it into the schedule. Then I'm gonna review the longest path with the planning manager, then the project manager, and so the whole process, you know, that's schedule management plan. How can I deal with the changes, scope changes, and the thresholds that will trigger my actions and responses like that, right? Bulila, what about uploaded start date with constraints? Best globally change. No, for the constraints, you basically have one constraint in the project in most cases, because typically constraints are associated with liquidated damages and contract completion. Maybe in your case, you have constraints against interim milestones, so they should not change. If you are changing constraints, it means that something is wrong. From Zain, when the schedule is updated and finish date is affected, changes have to be made to recover the delay and arrive at the target date. Then why this bifurcation analysis? No, we should not make changes to recover the delay and arrive at the target date, because every week, if we are making the changes and show the contract completion date, then the schedule is useless. What is the point? Showing delays is healthy for the project. We should motivate and encourage this culture. We have a baseline. It's mutually agreed, and we have to be very careful about making the changes. And basically, we make changes on a regular basis to make sure that the schedule is feasible and it will not show any misleading information. But the purpose, like remove out of sequence, for example, in some cases, but the purpose should not be to recover the delay. We should show delays, because that way we can uh, like trigger actions and responses, um, prepare recovery plans, and see how we move on in the project. Thank you very much, Yashash and Gapa, Wasim. Thank you very much, Enoch. Jihad, I appreciate it. Singiza, thank you very much. By Zaid, thank you. Abhijit, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Muhammad, Makant. We have really many people today. I did not know that this topic will be so popular. Makant, thank you. Always. Romeo, thank you. Faroukul, thank you. Thank you, Roland. I appreciate it. That's a really good point, Ahmed. Weightage system, planned and actual. I don't really. I typically have many unpopular opinions. So by the way, like I tend, like if you have been following me for a while, planning is full of misconceptions, right? So I don't really use weightage, but we can talk about it in another workshop. Thank you, Daniel. Arshad, appreciate it. Avinash, from Johnson, have you ever thought about offering your Power BI product as a subscription-based software tool? Many schedulers need. I know it's very popular, and I receive so many messages about Power BI, and I think the software is amazing and it can help solve many problems. I thank you for the recommendations. I truly appreciate it. And yeah, I will think about it and see maybe we can add value to the community. Chico, thank you very much. Barakat, Gohar, thank you very much. Surashit, Hmm. Bolila, follow up and how to arrange the wrong type of relationships after updating. Yes, it's a really good topic. Yeah. So how can we deal with the changes, or what type of changes we need to make? How we justify changes? Ashik, thank you for your clear explanation. Thank you very much. And if you have been following me for 6 months, you can go back to my YouTube channel. Like I have been posting on regular basis for the past maybe 2.5 years. So if you can really learn a lot from my tutorials as well. And yeah, hopefully, yeah, it will help someone out there. Thank you, Barakat. All right, so I don't see any more questions. And again, I have seen many comments. I truly appreciate your comments and thank you very much for your kind words. And I hope that this workshop was somewhat informative, and I hope it can help you in your career. You can also add that in your CV. You can add that you have the import of advanced import. People in our industry really understand and appreciate that. And okay, I'm gonna answer one last question. Can you make a webinar for making weekly and monthly reports by Power? I cannot cover it in one webinar. We need one webinar to talk about data analytics, then another webinar about the model setup, another webinar maybe because everyone is different, right? There is no universal way on how to use Power BI. I have my own way. I'm happy with it, but someone else might use a different way. But if I show you right now how I prepare a report, and I'm gonna tell you that I have to show this field because it's a primary key. You don't know what a primary key is, and you don't know why I set up the model in that way. So there is a whole process about that. By Zid, but definitely, we hopefully we can make more live workshops in the future. I really love being out there. It's so great having you all, and we had really nice workshop this evening. It's so engaging, and yeah, just I don't. I know you are probably tired right now after a long day, so thank you again for joining me, and I will see you in another workshop and keep moving forward. And I wish you all the best.